Well, it's been a year since you guys have seen me on camera like this, albeit maybe if you're a newcomer to the channel, this is the first time you've seen me on camera, in which case, hello. If you're a subscriber though, hello. So basically, whether you're a new subscriber or an old one or not a subscriber at all, or if you've just stumbled across this video and it's not the kind of content or the kind of video you were expecting to see at all, it's kind of the same response regardless, just hello. As you can probably tell, I'm a little bit out of practice of talking to you guys, but I guess we'll just get into the business, as they say, whoever they are. Anyway, so hello, I'm Jamie Doger, or at least that's the name of the channel. I never really cemented it as a particular identity of myself, but it is. I'm rambling. Let's get to the point. This is Bishop Fulton J. Sheen. Not a literal bishop, because obviously vegetation can't hold roles within the Catholic Church, being vegetation and not human beings, but I named this plant after Bishop Fulton J. Sheen, you know, the American bishop of the 50s and 60s and whatnot. Very based man. You guys should check out his stuff. Anyway, so this is Bishop Sheen. I've had Bishop Sheen since September of last year. I bought him at my university campus during a plant sale. Now, I've had Bishop Sheen since then, and he is still alive, miraculously, despite being the houseplant of a university student. Now, I will be moving back home for the summer, and hopefully Bishop Sheen will come with me, and hopefully Bishop Sheen will live a much longer life during the summer as well, and he's not just going to die here. So, the plan today is to repot Bishop Sheen with this fresh soil. Well, I say fresh, it's soil I've had since September because I bought it along with Bishop Sheen. But I'm going to hopefully repot him with this soil. I've got a mug of water here to help me throughout the process, and I have some scissors to cut off all this dry vegetation that has died out. And hopefully by the end of this, we'll have Bishop Sheen good as new and ready to set out on a new chapter of his life. Yeah, so you can see I've got a ceramic pot here with no filtration or anything like that. And then I have this plastic pot that Bishop Sheen is in. Now originally I was hoping to just take Bishop Sheen out of this plastic pot and completely put him into this ceramic one with soil and whatnot. But that probably won't work because this pot doesn't have any I don't know if filtration is the word. I just looked at 2 repotting videos before making this video, so I'm not entirely sure. But basically this pot has no hole in the bottom, so there's no way for water to get out or air to get in and out through the sides of the bottom. So therefore, I'm going to have to stick to this plastic pot, and I hope that's okay. As you can see, the roots of Bishop Sheen are coming through at the bottom, so I am hoping that's going to be okay. I'll probably snip some of the roots depending on how they are anyway, because we don't want too many roots, because he's been like this for a while. You don't see this yet, but there is water in the bottom of the pot, so we're just going to chuck that out. Now I would clean out the bottom of this, but I'm a smidge lazy, and I don't know if it really will make much of a difference, so we're just going to leave it like that. But it's empty. Now comes the part where we coax Bishop Sheen out of his pot. I'm just gently massaging the sides. There was a bee that just flew past, I hope it doesn't sting you. I've never actually been stung by a bee or a wasp. So I'm kind of dreading the day I finally do. It'll either be incredibly disappointing and underwhelming because I expected worse, or it will be worse than I could have ever expected and be horribly painful. But maybe I'll never get stung. That would be a nice thing, And again, they say if you don't go through hardships, you never grow as a person. So maybe by not being stung by a bee or a wasp or a hornet or anything like that, I'm actually missing out on life. Guys who ever got stung by an insect, leave your thoughts in the comments. Anyway, so let's get Sheen out of his pot. Okay, well there's the pot there. Oh, oh, Bishop Sheen, you look so... Doesn't he look cute in his little cake of soil? Are those, like... I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, but those look like weird egg things. I don't know if that... No, for clarification, Fulton Sheen is a creeping fig. That's the plant that he's meant to be. And so I don't know if these egg things are meant to be part of him. I'm assuming they're not. I'm assuming there's some kind of... Actually, to be fair, well, I assume they're not, but I don't know anything about plants. I'm just going to gently try and ease the roots out of the soil. Just going to crumble them a bit, break it up a bit. Because you can probably, well, I don't know if you can see, but I can see that the roots have kind of followed the shape of the pot a little bit. So, yeah. I'm just doing this over the grass because I don't want to make too much of a mess. Yeah. If these little like white bulbous things are malicious, I probably should have cleaned out both the plastic pot and the other one, but like I said, I'm lazy. I don't know much about plants. Go away, fly. So we're just gonna wing it and hope everything works out for the best. Yeah, I'm definitely ripping some roots here. I'm hoping it's okay though. Fulton's a pretty sturdy fella. It's pretty tough, so I reckon he'll be okay. And I'm gonna trim off all these little brown parts anyway. They were from when I left him at my university house over Christmas and Easter. One of my housemates looked after him very kindly, and obviously they did a decent job because he survived. But of course he did lose a bit of life in him, and he's a little browner for it. So, you know, a whole year since I uploaded an IRL video. Which, to be fair, doesn't really mean much because you guys don't. Well, most of you prefer well, I think all of you prefer the shanty videos, you know. Well, I say shanty, and then at this point, it's more of just a general songs of added context. I know that's the main reason people come to my channel. So this kind of content, if you're still watching at this mark of the video, thank you very much. It's nice of you. But still, the fact that it's been a whole year since I uploaded a video like this, crazy, you know, time flies by. And if you watched my last video like this, you'll know that last month was my birthday. So last year I uploaded a video because it had been my 20th birthday. So I was like, wow, 20 years old, I have to do something for that. So I smoked a cigar and just kind of rambled in front of the camera like I'm doing now, and spoke about a host of things. I think I'll have to keep some of this soil because it's kind of holding poor Fulton together. I don't know if you can see, but he's not, being a creeping fig, he doesn't exactly have much of a stem to speak of. It's more like a clump of roots and little stems and whatnot. Anyway, so I'm just going to gently lay Fulton on the ground for the moment. Dust off my hands. And yeah. I don't know if I really like the look of this pot, to be fair, but what I'll do, I'll just rinse it out a smidge with some water and hope that's okay. In one of the repotting tutorial videos I saw earlier, before I did this, one of the people doing the tutorial said, the worst thing you can do is kill your plant. And for some reason, some people saw that as a reassuring thing. For me, it's, if anything, it's kind of, well, yeah, obviously that would be the worst thing to do when repotting your plant, would be to kill it. Because the whole point is you want to keep it alive. I mean, I guess it's kind of comforting in the sense that, well, nothing worse will happen. You won't make like some kind of mutant plant. But still, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just being pedantic, but I feel like that's kind of obvious. Anyway, so I just put a little bit of soil in the bottom of this pot, and I'm just going to pop old Fulton in, and to see if that's roughly where I want it to be. Because it said you should have the soil level about the same as it was before. So I think I'm going to have to put a little bit more soil in the bottom first. Just a smidge more, just to bring Bishop Sheen up to a little bit of a higher height. Anyways, I feel I kind of got distracted by this. I was talking about how it's been a while since I made a video like this. It's kind of been, well, to be honest, it's been a while since I made a video full stop. It's been like 8 months since my last wojak edit, I suppose. That was for the Mary Ellen Carter back in September of last year, which is funnily around the same time I got Fulton. So that's, you know, that's quite funny. And I think I'll need more soil to be fair. I've got to be careful that there's a bit of wind. I don't want poor Fulton to blow away. But yeah, so I'd just like to thank you guys who have stayed subscribed and returned to the channel every now and then. It's nice recognizing some usernames in the comments even after all this time. So thank you guys. It's a nice thing you guys are doing there, and I appreciate it. I know I don't upload that often now, but you know, I'm glad you guys are there for when I do. Fulton's back in the pot. There's a bit of soil underneath them. I'm just going to add some soil, kind of just around them to be fair. And then I'm going to try and pack it down so there aren't any air pockets or anything. Also, I like how I specifically got this apron, but it's barely coming in handy at all. Well, it's a little bit useful. There's a little bug on it. So I guess it's technically keeping some stuff away from me, but I was more intending it to protect me from all this soil and whatnot. Right, now the thing is, look, I've got all these like dead parts of Fulton. I think, to be honest, if it's feasible, I will simply... Oh well, this one just broke off clean, so I'll throw them away. And I'll get rid of some of this as well. You know, gotta keep Fulton nice and green. Just snip some of this as well, I think. Anyway, I keep losing my train of thought because I'm doing two things at once. But so I just wanted to thank you guys for sticking with the channel. Albeit I know it's kind of inevitable, sadly, but I know that once I upload this video, I'll probably lose a reasonable number of subscribers. Because that's what happened. That's what happened with the last one like this. Because at the end of the day, it's not what most people are looking for, and that's okay. You know, it's kind of no one's fault at the end of the day, and it doesn't bother me too much. Although, I mean, it did back in the day, and by back in the day, I mean, you know, like a year ago plus. But it's to be expected, and it's nice because I still know that, you know, plenty of you guys still hang around and return from time to time, and you know, you end up coming and seeing me do videos like this. Ah, there's good old Fulton Sheen. Doesn't he look beautiful with all the greenery? Now my only worry is that I feel like there's not enough soil on him. Either that, or he's too heavy for his own good. He's too fat, and I feel like he's gonna keel over from his own weight, which I don't really want happening. That won't be very good for him. Hey, yo, there's a little beetle. I would grab the camera to show you guys, but it's like on a tripod and, you know, it wouldn't really... I mean, it's dashing into the grass now, but it was cool. It was a little black beetle, kind of shiny. I have a friend back home who knows his insects and whatnot very well. He'd probably be able to identify. You can see, like, the soil's at this level, and I haven't fully packed it down yet, but it feels like there's not, I don't know, maybe it's because his roots haven't, you know, had a chance to properly sliver down into the bottom, and maybe that's why it's not as stable. But I don't want it to fall over. Also, I apologize for any background noise, because at the moment I live, while I'm at university, I live in a house that's right by a main road, so that's obviously, you know, has a bit of noise. which usually I don't mind, but obviously if I'm filming something like this, having cars go past and motorbikes and whatnot, it can be something of an irritant. You know, I reckon what I might do, or try to do, is get some straws or something, paper straws, or maybe wooden, maybe like lollipops or something, you know, like the wooden sticks, and try and get Fulton to go straight, because I know obviously he's a creeping fig, so they're naturally inclined to grow a certain way. I mean, dang, look at that. That's a nice plant right there. But obviously I don't want him to grow down too much. It'd be nice if he grew up, because that would be nice, wouldn't it? But then obviously he's drooping. So, to be honest, yeah, I'm going to go grab the paper straw and see what that does. Now, I have to somewhat credit this suggestion to one of my housemates, Kaz, because he was one person who suggested such an idea. Albeit I don't know how well this will work. And to be fair, it doesn't look all that great. But, if I do this, maybe he'll sort of grow around it, if that makes sense. I don't know. This is a very ghetto-looking creeping fig at the moment, I have to say. Yeah, maybe if I do like 3 straws in a kind of triangle shape, maybe old Fulton can sort of grow around them. I could actually snip off some of this stuff. I mean, look how long this one is. And I do want him to divert some of his energy to his roots, to be fair. Because since I'm repotting him, I want him to regrow roots and not focus too much on his lovely leaves, as nice as they are. Thank you for watching the channel still, guys, every now and then, and staying subscribed. It's nice of you. I do hope to make more wojak edits. Perhaps I'll try and put one out this summer. But at this point, obviously, production is kind of slow. But I'll try and put out something. There's obviously the list of songs to do is ever growing. So I think at some point, actually, I might consider making a poll, maybe on my channel. Well, not a poll, but a community post where you guys can just post any suggestions, and that way I can actually note them down. Because I was noting them down, but sadly, last year I lost a bunch of data on my main computer, so I lost the list of song requests, sadly. And it was like over a page. Or at least I think it was over a page. Page of A4, that is. So maybe I'll do like a community post so people can resubmit requests, because I know plenty of people do it in comments, but the issue with that is that then I have to sort through the comments and look specifically for requests, and it's not too bad because I can click, for example, like I can filter them by comments that have a question in, but obviously not everyone will put a question mark or phrase their request like a question, so not every request will come up. And obviously even then, even if I do filter them, I still have to scroll down because I'd rather do the oldest requests first because they've been waiting the longest. But sadly, you know, it's kind of tricky to do that. I was thinking, to be fair, because in this past year I've gotten into Glenn Campbell a reasonable bit. If any of you are familiar with him, I would like to do some edits using his music. Oh my goodness, so many leaves. I feel like maybe I should trim him. I mean, obviously there's this really long part, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Now the thing is, I can like twist them up around the straws. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. I do have hay fever, so that might be it. I hope it's not. It's actually more or less left me unbothered so far. I've been hoping that I've just grown out of it, but maybe not. Yeah. Okay, I see some shoots with like not really any leaves, so I'm wondering if I should snip those, or snip the ones that are... Actually, you know what? This long bit, I'll snip it off, because I can see some like browning, and so maybe if I snip it, it will help them grow a bit better. So this long bit is going away, and maybe this long bit too, if I can figure out which is which. Okay, it's this long bit. Okay, I'll just snip him a bit. Just trim. You know, just make him a little bit neater. He's looking tidier now, would you say? I think so. If there are any like gardening enthusiasts or houseplant enthusiasts in the comments seething right now at my horrible method, I apologize, but this is the first time I've repotted a plant, so you'll have to go easy on me, I'm afraid. If you're wondering how I came about naming Fulton, I'll tell you. So, I bought this plant in September last year at a plant sale on my university campus. And I was, you know, thinking of names to call him. And now, well, I'm a Catholic, and I thought it'd be quite funny to name him after a saint, or, you know, a known Catholic figure. Now, of course, Fulton Sheen is not a saint. In the Catholic Church, he's just concerned, he's, what's the word? His title is venerable, I believe. So it's like on the way to sainthood, but not quite. And to clear up any misconceptions about how the saint canonization process works in the Catholic Church, just because you canonize a saint doesn't mean that if a person isn't canonized as a saint officially by the Church, it doesn't mean they're not a saint. It just means they basically haven't been discovered yet. So there are more. So the cool thing is that there are more saints than there are officially, you know, in terms of actual documentation and whatnot. But anyway, so Fulton Sheen, he was a bishop of America in the last century. Very good guy, very based, very good theology, whatnot. So I'd recommend watching his videos on YouTube if you can. There are a lot of them. But to return to the story of how I ended up choosing him as a name was, first of all, I liked Fulton Sheen anyway. So I was like, oh, maybe that might be a good name. But I was like, I'll leave it to the people. I'll what's the word? I'll appeal to democracy. So on my good old Instagram account, I let my friends pick between names as Bishop Fulton J. Sheen, Saint Thomas Aquinas, G.K. Chesterton, and I think there was another name I thought of. But I can't quite remember exactly what name I did go with. No, well, obviously I went with Sheen, but I can't remember the exact, what fourth name it was, because it was St. Thomas Aquinas, G.K. Chesterton, Bishop Fulton J. Sheen, and then there was another one, but I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. Which one would it have been? I'm guessing it was another saint or something like. Oh, it was Pope John Paul II, because he's my favorite pope, being Polish. He was Polish and I'm half Polish, so, you know, gotta represent. Yeah, so that was the fourth name, St. John Paul II. But people voted Bishop Sheen, and I like Bishop Sheen, so I went with Bishop Sheen. Bishop Fulton J. Sheen, the creeping fig, was thus born. And he's still alive, thankfully. And I hope he lives many more months. Maybe even years, but I don't really know what the lifespan of a creeping fig plant is, you know. I think ficus pumila is like the Latin phrase. I could be wrong. It does say ficus on the side of the pot, because apparently plants are passports. Would you believe it? I know it's interesting, but I don't know if you can see it, but it says, you know, plant passport, A ficus C26 BNL, a bunch of numbers. Crazy. The dystopian society we live in, where plants need passport, guys. Would you believe it? It's disappointing, really. Anyways, so that's how I got to naming Fulton. All right, I'll just give him a bit of a tap, because what I want to do is get rid of air pockets. And yeah, tapping him did ruffle up this soil a lot. So I'm gonna need to add some more, I think. Now, one of my concerns is that since I've kept this soil in this plastic bag quite a while, I'm kind of concerned that it'll, what's the word? It'll have like a bunch of microplastics in, which obviously aren't good for any living being, really. And that's something I'd like to avoid, obviously. But then again, what can I say? I'm a complete amateur with this stuff. I'm just making do with what I have. You know, I wasn't about to take a trip in all the way into town for the very best, sadly. But hopefully it's good enough. Hopefully it's good enough for Fulton. He's been a quite a you know, persistent fella. He's lived through a lot, so hopefully he'll live through this, and hopefully he'll flourish. Just to return briefly, or perhaps for a longer period of time, to the fact that it's been a year since I uploaded a video like this. Obviously it means that I'm now 21, which is an interesting age. You know, it's kind of a landmark point for people, I suppose. It means I can drink in America now. Not that I would ever be too concerned about that, but it's a neat thing to know. Well, let's get that leaf out of the store. So there's that, and it's strange because when I was still 20, you know, obviously it feels like your teenage years are still fairly close, you know, like a year ago I was 19, that's kind of like an older teenager, so you could kind of still go through your life thinking that you're still, you know, young in the sense that you're still pretty much a teenager, kind of still like a kid, essentially, in some aspects. And then you turn 21 and you realize that, oh dang, I am into my 20s now. And kind of it's not like when I turned 20 I had any particular realization or epiphany, but it does make you, you know, think about your own age and your own mortality and the temporary nature of things, you know. It does make you think about that kind of stuff a lot more. I remember turning 15 and thinking, haha, now I'm halfway to 30. But now I'm over 2/3 of the way to being 30, which is an interesting thought. I was going to say scary, but I wouldn't say scary, because I mean, let's face it, guys. Aging is just how life works. You know, there's not much point finding it intimidating. It's inevitable. You know, like I understand why you would find it, you know, a little bit scary or intimidating, but at the end of the day, it's beyond you. You know, you just have to make the most of your life. And you know, I'm a Catholic, so it helps a lot having my faith. Well, I say it helps. Speaking of being a Catholic, it's kind of the core aspect of your entire life. So it does more than just help. It is what gives me my life. But obviously, you know, it's good to have that belief. There are many other reasons why it's good to have that belief, but that's just one of them. Maybe I'll do it at some point. I'll do like some added context videos of like Catholic Latin chants or something. That might be interesting to do. Don't know how I would go about doing that, and I don't know how much I'd want to do it, because I'd have to consider reverence, and you know, I don't want to use like a hymn in what is essentially a glorified meme. So I don't know. That's a theological topic, and you guys don't have to worry about that. That's for me to think about. But anyway, so I've packed down pretty much all the soil. Fulton is looking splendid. He's looking beautiful. I hope you can get a good view of him. Obviously the straws do look a little goofy, but hopefully they'll help him kind of stand up more. And we'll see how time goes. I might remove the straws depending on how he grows. Hopefully he will grow. But yeah, so there's that. But yeah, just in terms of like age and morality, that kind of thing, it's just kind of it's just how it be, you know. And if you're wondering what I'm doing now, I believe what I'm doing, I'm just soaking and showering the plant, which is meant to help it, I believe. Ideally, you would do this with like an actual, like, what would you call it? What's the term? A watering pot? A plant pot? No, not a plant pot. What's the term for like that thing you use in gardens to water plants? You know, that has a little shower nozzle at the end. Is it a watering pot? I can't remember, but you guys know what I mean. So yeah, just a bit of water. Hopefully this isn't hurting poor Fulton. But I'm just gonna let that looks like an awful lot of water, so I'm just gonna let him sit there and do his thing. Still a smidge of water left in the pot. And my nose is slightly runny, so let me Let's see if I have a tissue on me I can use. No tissue. All right, I'll be back in just a second. My nose is running, so I need to blow it. But Fulton is repotted, in theory, in the sense that he's got fresh soil. That's really all I did. We'll let that drain a bit, and then I'll put him in this, just in this ceramic pot, just to hold him, and hopefully he'll get on well. You know, one thing I've noticed is that I tend to say things like "but" a lot. You know, preceding sentences that I then say. I think I should work on that. It's kind of annoying to me now. Anyway, so there's Fulton all repotted, and I hope that's an okay amount of water for him. Put him in the pot, and voila, there we are. Fulton's good as new. In theory, we hope. But we'll see. Anyway, I'll chuck out the rest of this water. I don't know if I have to leave him outside because he's a houseplant, so I keep him inside. He's not meant to have too much sunlight, and I don't want to leave him on the ground where too many bugs will get to him. So I'll probably leave him inside on the windowsill, and I'll come back out and have a go at smoking my pipe, which I haven't done in a while. Kind of everything I've done in this video in terms of actions, they've been the things I've ever not done before or I haven't done in a while. Filming this video, you know, for YouTube for the first time in a while, I'm kind of out of practice with that. Repotting a plant, I haven't done that before, but it was kind of nice, it was kind of therapeutic. Obviously you guys can't see him now because I put Fulton inside, but I can just see him on the windowsill, looking all cute and fresh, so that's nice to see. And then this pipe, I haven't smoked it since January, I think, so it'll be interesting doing this. What interesting things have happened in my life in the past year? Well, of course there's YouTube, in the sense that I've because I've become part of the Catholic Society at the university here, so I've made some content for them. This is a wood chip in my tobacco. This looks like a wood chip. Oh, unbelievable. But yeah, so, you know, I've started like a little kind of a podcast discussion show for the Catholic Society. I mean, outside of that, obviously my university degree has gone forward. I just finished my second year. I don't know how well I really did my final essays, to be fair, because despite them being spaced out rather nicely with like a week between each deadline, I kind of still left until the last minute, being me and, you know, procrastinating and whatnot. And so I don't think they were as good as I could have made them. But we'll see what grade I get in a month or two, and I'll just accept whatever I get. I know I should get passes, I'm sure, but I'd rather get something higher than that, really. Because, you know, I'm capable of doing better, and, you know, that's all anyone really wants, to do the best they can, really. I did become involved with the local BBC radio, which was interesting, because through the university I was doing a module centered around a work placement, and there was an opportunity here locally, so I took it. So I went to the studio a few times, and I wrote and recorded a 2-part mini-series about like identity and that kind of thing. I kind of spoke about my experience coming to university, growing up, you know, in a sense, kind of generic finding yourself stuff, but it was interesting. If you like, I'll leave a couple links in the description to it, because it's on BBC Sounds. Of course, it will disappear eventually. It doesn't stay on there forever. After 30 days, it will go. But yeah. Okay, I think this tobacco is packed down closely enough now. Anyway, you can see everything in the pipe there, hopefully. Okay, now this isn't really the kind of light you would want to use for a pipe, but at least not light enough. Is it even on? Oh yeah, that's definitely on. I just can't see because of the sunlight. Yeah, in terms of stuff in my life, I did that BBC thing. That was kind of nice. I'll put some links in the description for you guys who have BBC accounts and would like to listen. Just gently hand that down. Yeah, so there's that BBC thing. Obviously, there's the whole deal of turning 21. And just yeah, in general. I mean, this second year at university has been very good. I've enjoyed it quite a lot. I've been doing like modules and subjects I'm more interested in. It'll be interesting doing my dissertation this autumn because next year's my final year. And I'm hoping to do something about Tolkien, you know, J.R.R. Tolkien for that. So that should be good. As you guys have probably figured out by now, this video is not very well structured, so I apologize for that. One thing that has been quite a nice change in my life in the past 2 months is that I've gotten a girlfriend. And she's lovely, so if she's watching, hi Carmen. I hope she doesn't mind me using her name. If she does mind me using her name, I'll just bleep it out. But yeah, we met at university and it's been, well actually, come tomorrow it'll be 3 months since we made it official, although longer since we started dating. So, that's special. I think we're heading to the cinema, so that'll be nice. But yeah, so that's been one development. Which is interesting really. And I know most of you guys aren't Catholic and you're probably not religious for the most part. But up until a few months ago, I've been discerning, because as a Catholic, you know, you're meant to discern your vocation, so what God wants you to do. And up until a few months ago really, I was considering priesthood. I know, right? But then suddenly I just started feeling like, this girl's quite nice. She's a good Catholic. I guess, what the heck? Might as well ask her out to a coffee. So I did, and she said yes. So I'm so now definitely leaning more towards marriage, naturally. Although of course still letting God do whatever God wants to happen, you know, in my life. And, you know, she understands the same way. We're both open to what God wants for us, so there's that. Which has also made me think more about in terms of what kind of career I want to have. Because naturally, you know, if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or something like that, and you're considering a future together, you want to think about what kind of way you would secure that future financially. So obviously it's given me more thought about what kind of career I want after this degree. Because I study English literature with creative writing. And English is a very transferable skill, but I'd rather do something related to it in some regard. But it can be a bit tricky figuring that kind of stuff out. Because like 6 months ago, I was like, well, I'll see what happens over my degree. And technically that is still how I'm operating. I'm seeing how this degree goes. I'm just, you know, if any opportunities come by, I take them, or I'll try to take them at least. So like right now I'm considering maybe possibly publishing as an area of, you know, interest. There's also radio, as I've mentioned. Because obviously, you know, when I was considering priesthood, I wasn't really worried or thinking too much about a career. Because, you know, if you're preparing for the priesthood, you know, there's not much need to think about a career, because that is your vocation, that takes up pretty much all your time. And there's no need to have a side job. So, in a sense, yeah, you know, lots happened in the past year. But I suppose that kind of goes with everything, you know? Even if you, like, a lot happens in a year, just as a person when you know, grow and develop. Even if there aren't lots of, like, events in that time, you still, you know, there's still a lot of change happening, even though you don't really notice it. I mean, I was watching this, you know, my video from a year ago, you know, 20-year-old man smokes a cigar on Rambles. And it's just interesting seeing the kind of person I was back then and how I talked back then. And then thinking about the kind of person I am now, you know? So yeah, there's that. I hope that I mean, I've probably already said this, and I said it in my past video, but I hope you guys are doing well. Because I was thinking the other day, it's now 2023, and it was 2021 February where my first wojak sort of shanty video edit, when that first became popular. And that's over 2 years ago now. 2 years! That's, you know, crazy. I wasn't even at university. I was working my part-time job at the time. I remember when I made that video, it was just, it was just kind of came to mind. I was like, oh, I could kind of make a meme video kind of, you know, based off like ambient mixes and edits and ASMR. You know, as it often goes with videos that become popular on YouTube all of a sudden, it was more of just a, oh, you know, I'll make this spur of the moment kind of thing. And obviously it brought me to where I am now. Thanks to you guys, of course. So, thank you. That sounded that sounded pretty robotic, I'll be honest. But you know, I am serious. I am grateful for you guys and everything you guys do when you come back and watch my vids. I know some of you sometimes come back and comment after a time that I've been away, and it's nice. It's nice to know that I have you know, a group of people out there who, you know, still come back and watch my content from time to time. I would talk more, but I'm just kind of enjoying this. I'm just sitting in the garden smoking my pipe. I feel like an old retired man, like an old retired professor at the end of his career, just enjoying the greenery. Admittedly, rather overgrown greenery. Oh, there's a ladybug on there. And naturally, it flies away when I notice it. But yeah. But yeah. There it is again. I just said but yeah. Yeah. When I say like but yeah, like those like preceding phrases before a sentence, I want to start being a little bit more economical with my speech and just speak, you know, less ums and ahs. But I guess everyone wants to do that. Everyone wants to speak with more clarity. Everyone wants to, you know, be able to articulate themselves better, more coherently, more fluidly, more elegantly. Yeah, it's an ongoing process. Well, to be fair, since I mentioned that I kind of started a podcast for the Catholic Society at this university, I might as well plug it. Well, no, I won't plug it, but I'll put a couple links in the description of my YouTube channel. So that's a side of me that you guys don't really see. So if you want to look at it, feel free. The main podcast is just called Galilee, and it's more of a discussion-based podcast. So don't worry, it's not just theology and morality and all of that stuff. There's, you know, like we talk about Roblox, for example, the video game at one point. Minecraft as well. So yeah, you know, we only got 3 episodes out at the moment because obviously university people have stuff to do, but hopefully, you know, we'll make a few more episodes before I finish my degree. I know that anyone who's not really too interested in any of this will probably have clicked off the video at this point, so I know that the guys, or most of the people who are around at this mark of the video, you know, they're... Sorry, a bee or a fly went right next to my head just then. I was just getting flashbacks to me saying I haven't been stung before in my life, and voila, suddenly insect by my head. Anyway, but yeah, I know that usually most people still watching at this point are longer term fans. No, not fans, because obviously the people who follow my channel, it's for the content, not for me. I understand that. Don't worry. Well, I accidentally inhaled a smidge there, which is not what you're meant to do. I'd just like to extend another thank you to all you guys who still watch, and you know, watch to the end of videos like these, which are just kind of not very structured, kind of random. But I thought, well, I did a video like this last year, so I might as well keep up that sort of tradition, at least for a second round. Because it's always interesting for me when I look back at these videos, because it gives me kind of it's a little time capsule of my life at that point in time. One thing that's interesting, well, not interesting, but you know, something everyone goes through is, you know, as you grow up and you know, life kind of rolls on, is how your friendship group tends to change a bit, or at least alter. Because looking back, uh, well, I'm still good friends. I'm still friends with people from back home, from before I went to university. But I've fallen a little bit more out of touch with them. Some more than others, because obviously you go to university, you kind of split off into your own new friend groups in a sense, unless your friends are already very similar to you. But I think I have a rather diverse group of friends, and so it's kind of sad in a sense when you think of the time you used to spend with some people in the past and how little you spend now, and also in a sense the feeling of how your thing is like I'm okay with that because I've got good friends here as well. People I've become very close to up here. So in my case, I've kind of, had one close-knit set of friends, and I now have a new close-knit set of friends. That isn't to say I'm no longer friends with the old group, but it's just as time goes on, you kind of grow out of touch with them, I feel, or at least to an extent. I imagine you guys have experienced the same thing. I know some of those friends will be watching this video, in which case, hey fellas, hope you're doing well. And for clarification, this isn't me saying that my old friends have neglected me. That's by far not the case. If anything, it's more so the other way around. Because being up here, naturally I spend less time with them. Besides one of them who came to university with me. But that's again the kind of deal both of us find our respective groups to flourish in, so to speak. Oh, one thing I will say that's happened in the past year, although it's more so in the past 6 months, that's more accurate, but I've become a godfather to 2 people. First of all, to a friend of mine who at university here who converted to Catholicism. I was one of his sponsors at his baptism/confirmation, because when you're older you kind of have both at once. And then over Easter I went to Poland with my mum because we have family over there, and I attended my little cousin's baptism. I was her godfather, so I've got 2 godchildren, which is that's pretty cool. And I have to say I'm looking forward to interacting with her as she grows up, because obviously she'll have grown bigger when I go there this summer, hopefully, and it'll be interesting to see that change. And it's kind of an extra motivator for me to learn more Polish as well, because I am kind of gradually learning it, but I procrastinated a lot and neglected things, so I don't speak nearly as much of it as I should. So yeah, but it's yeah, and that I held a baby for the first time in my life over Easter, my little cousin, so my uncle's daughter. And my main concern was just not dropping her. Thankfully, I succeeded in doing that, so that's always a relief. But yeah, but holding her, it's incredible, It's a whole life you've got in your arms, so tiny and fragile. And made me feel older as well. That was before I turned 21, but still, realizing there's a 20-year gap between me and this person, it's something to think about, But I hope I can be a good godfather to her, and I hope I'm being a good godfather to my first godson, who's also my friend anyway, who is far surpassing me in the Catholic faith, might I say, in terms of knowledge and connection with God, which is good to see. Going forward with the channel, it's kind of just going to be in the same state it's been in for the past year, I suppose. I'll probably upload a wojak video every now and then, because it's something I do enjoy, and I don't want to stop doing it. Because, like I said, I enjoy it, you guys enjoy it, so why should I stop? It's a chance for me to vent my creativity in a certain capacity. Okay, well, that's relighted it. I'll smoke it for a smidge longer, then I'll probably think about wrapping up. You guys don't want to just, sit and listen to me ramble for like an hour? Or do you? Huh? Is that what you guys want? You want to just listen to me talk and ramble about my life and my random, incoherent, unordered thoughts for that period of time? Probably not. You probably said that you wouldn't mind because you're polite, but don't worry. You can be honest with me. I'd always rather someone be honest with me and a little rude than, dishonest but polite. Well, I have to say, it seems that repotting Fulton Sheen has gone well. At least I hope it has. It looks okay from where I can see him sitting here. I almost just said but yeah then, just to fill the silence. I think that's something me and lots of people should get used to, is just enjoying the silence. I understand I say that as like police sirens go on around me and cars drive past and some guy does work in his yard behind him, scraping. So I know that's kind of ironic that I say that. But silence can simply mean no one's talking. I mean, you go out in the countryside on a summer day and it's not silent, You have birds and everything, that kind of thing. So, most of the time you won't have complete silence, but I think silence in the sense of you're not talking or trying to talk, no one else is trying to talk, you're just kind of sitting by yourself or maybe with a friend or friends and just enjoying the peace, I suppose. Having said that, I would prefer to live in the country, where there is more sort of natural peace and quiet. Cities are nice, but I'm more of a small town kind of man. Preferably a village, even. That's why I like going to Poland so much, because I stay at my grandparents' village, and it's just a different atmosphere. Just feels a lot more peaceful, simpler, And I think that's my pipe all done. So on that note, I will empty it out. Yeah, so there was actually a bit of tobacco in here I could have still smoked, but hey ho. Believe it or not, and you'll probably find it's easier to believe than not to believe, but this is only the second time I've smoked a pipe, so I'm still rather inexperienced with it. It's a good way to end the video, just sneezing on camera and all. Oh well, as I get attacked by a barrage of sneezes, I guess I'll try and end the video here. So, oh my goodness. So, thank you very much guys for watching. Thanks for putting up with everything. I hope you're all doing well, sincerely I do. I hope, nothing but peace and happiness in your lives. And I hope God can bless you. In an ideal world, I would hope you would all convert to Catholicism. But obviously, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know how you guys are going to receive that. I don't mean it in an unpleasant way. I hope you realize that. It's simply that, I have been a Catholic all my life. It's just in the past couple of years I've become more serious about it. So I'll bring it up from time to time like that. And I hope you don't get offended or anything. If you do, no worries. You're entitled to, you have the freedom to respond however you would like to. I don't know, what words can I say? I hope you guys are doing well. That sums it up, really. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for staying subscribed and watching my videos. Thank you for still watching me when I do upload, especially videos like this, where I'm just kind of doing whatever. I'm grateful. It's nice to have a little community online where I can just chat with and share thoughts and content with from time to time. In regards of requests for more wojak edit songs, I'll have a think. I'll see what you guys comment on this video, and I'll consider maybe making a community post. Sorry, there's a car going past. You might be able to hear it. I was just playing a song that just threw me straight back to GTA 5 and the non-stop pop I think, is it Anthem, the name of the song? I don't know, something like that. Or is it the Rhythm of the Night? I can't remember. But one of those songs, the songs that hit you with a blast of nostalgia. I'm 21, so GTA 5 came out when I was 11, I think. So yeah, my goodness, the years fly by. Anyways, so yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I'll see about maybe making like a community post. People can just flood the comments with requests. That way it'll be easy for me to keep track of them. But we'll see. It depends. To be fair, I don't really know what the engagement on this video will even be like, so we'll see. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for watching me pot a plant for the first time. Maybe he'll shrivel up within a day and I'll be too ashamed to actually say how he's doing. I'll pretend. I'll be like, yeah, Fulton's doing fine. When in reality, he's long dead. Maybe he's dead already. Who knows? Maybe something catastrophic happened between the last time you saw him on camera and this moment in time. I'm joking. He's fine. He's literally right behind the camera. He's doing okay. But yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or evening or night, whatever time it might be for you. I hope you have a good year. Heck, I hope you have a good life. Because everyone needs to have a good life. So, now there's a wasp that just went underneath my legs. Anyway, let's hope it doesn't sting me between now and the end of when I click stop on that video. Anyway, God bless, fellas. I'll see you around. Hopefully next video will maybe be a wojak vid. We'll see. I still kind of need to decide on the song and whatnot. But yeah. And actually, I know the perfect way to end this, to be fair. The way I'll end this is I'll say in the words of Bishop Fulton Sheen, the bishop, the real man, not the plant that I just repotted. Bye now, and God love you.
Bye now, and God love you.
Jimmy, is it not a bit too windy for this?
No, that's fine.